Well, you know this is a spleen because it looks like a spleen. You could see these lymphoid areas like here, 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 here. It looks like less than half, but maybe a fourth of the cross-sectional area is lymphoid, and therefore this is the white pulp of the spleen because it looks white grossly. And the areas between these lymphoid areas which look red also look red grossly, and this is the red pulp. And to make a long story short, if you wanted to give a good overall ratio in a normal spleen between red and white, you could say 50-50. Sometimes it's 30-20 or 20-30, or I'm sorry, 30-70 or 70-30, but it's usually about 50-50. In this case, it's a little bit less. But look at the spleen on the top now. You could already see from this power that there's a few lymphoid areas, but perhaps 90% of the cross-sectional area is quite red. So for some reason, there is overactivity of the red cell sinusoidal part of the spleen relative to the lymphoid areas. And let's talk about what might cause something like this. Well, getting back to anemias, let's say, there are two types of anemias. There's the one type of anemia where the red cells don't live as long as they should, of 120 days, and those are called hemolytic anemias. And then the other type of anemia is when the red cells aren't made as nicely and effectively as they should be. So in the anemias or hemolytic anemias, where the cells are destroyed more quickly, that generates more activity in the red pulp of the spleen because that's where the red pulp is. That's what the red pulp is supposed to do, destroy blood cells. Now, normally the weight of a spleen is about 150 grams. It's about the weight of a normal kidney. And of course, that's age adjusted as well, so it could be smaller in a child. But if this spleen was enlarged, and it was large predominantly because of the red pulp, you might think that perhaps a hemolytic process was going on. And indeed it is. This is a hemolytic anemia, congenital, present in kids, called hereditary spherocytosis. And even though we are not going to go into the biology and pathology and genetics behind it, like all other hemolytic diseases, the cells are not being produced effectively, and therefore they are being destroyed quickly, and therefore there's an overactivity of this red pulp that would result in the red pulp being more predominant than the white, as well as the spleen in itself being larger. And like some of the hemolytic anemias, if you did a splenectomy, let's say, these red cells might last longer, and that's why they do splenectomies in many hemolytic anemias, and that's why they do splenectomies in this disease often as well. This is a splenomegaly secondary to increased red pulp, secondary to a hemolytic anemia in which the sinusoids have to overreact by destroying more red cells. This is a typical spleen in the hemolytic anemia called hereditary spherocytosis. And I thank you very much.